name is Kate Surman. I'm Administrative Director for Stanford's Cancer Center South Bay. As we were preparing to open the Cancer Center South Bay, we wanted to make sure that we were meeting this unmet need that we heard in the community, which was they wanted organized care with patient focus. So I was able to work with our strategy team, a variety of different folks throughout the organization, and also meet people in the community in San Jose to see what was lacking, what did they feel like they needed there, and really honed in on cancer as being a major focus. A lot of boutique offerings for folks where you would go to your medical oncologist, get your infusion, and then you'd go to a different location for your radiology, you'd go to a different location for your transfusions. So a lot of people really having to manage across many organizations for their care, coordinating their own care, not feeling like they had a team that was able to coordinate that care for them. And in some cases, using the breast wire localization as an example, where patients actually had to go to an imaging center, have wires placed, and then drive themselves or with a family member over to an ambulatory surgery center to actually have the surgery done. That was based on, the placement of those wires. Your heart breaks when you see people going through the process and standing and waiting in line when they have, they may have just found out that they have 2 months to live, and you're asking them to wait in line for upwards of, an hour of their day as they go through these different appointments. So you can imagine that we had a lot of opportunity, a lot of things that we could do. So we knew we needed to push back on some of the standards, some of the traditional ways that we establish things by really breaking down some of the silos that we have. And in order to do that, we set up a few different fundamental rules. We actually came up with our guiding principles. Through those guiding principles allowed us to maintain a focus on coordination of care. We set up a patient and family advisory council in order to keep us honest, keep us true to those guiding principles, which included maintaining that patient focus. So one of the asks on the table was to streamline the flow for our patients between their appointments. We traced the patient experience through the day. We traveled through to see what that really looked like and felt like. We watched and as patients would check in at one department, answer certain questions, wait, have their appointment, go to another department, check in, wait in line, check in, answer the same questions, wait, have their appointment, maybe up to 4 times in a particular day. So that was the problem that we were faced with. We could either leave it as a status quo for Stanford, which was already a huge step above what they had in the community. What they had in the community, again, was actually driving to different locations and coordinating that care amongst totally different organizations. Or B, leave it as Stanford status quo, which was in the Cancer Center Palo Alto as the example, where patients would go to these individual departments all in the same building, so brought together under one roof, but still managed separately. Or C, is there something new and innovative that we could do to try to streamline it for our patients so that they can check in for all of their services at one time. So when they come in, they may be coming in for 4 different activities for that day, 4 different types of appointments. What we heard loud and clear was, I don't want to go and repeat the same information at every single department. You know me already, I came in once, capture that information and carry it through. So really option B and option C were on the table. Option B would mean staffing up each of the individual departments, creating clear space, defined space for check-in, for each of those different departments in the way the building was actually organized and laid out. People know how to do it that way, so that's a huge win. Keep in mind that we're trying to open a huge building, 70,000 square feet. There's a lot that we're asking of people above and beyond their existing jobs, and so this would allow them to just extend a model that they're familiar with, move it down to the South Bay. In order to pursue option C, the various things we had to consider and groups that we had to talk to included IT, because we would have to really, in order to make it work, build an IT solution so that we would know that patients were ready for their next appointment. That's cost, that's coordination effort, taking away from some of the basic, already complicated build that needed to be done for the building, additional resources, time and attention. The other group that we had to work with and consider was compliance. and risk management. So they have very tight regulations to help us make sure that we're on track, asking the right questions of our patients. The clinical directors for each of the different teams have a lot of skin in the game. Really, their ability to function is based on whether or not patients are able to present, give the right information, be given the right information, and in order to set us up for a safe encounter for them. Patient identification is a really critical piece for any kind of healthcare industry, and the specialization is pretty incredible in an academic medical center for what we do for each individual service. That was a huge challenge. We had never done that at Stanford. I don't know that it's been done anywhere else. So there's a lot of different elements that we had to consider as we went through this process.